Under the drop-down menu for an RCP-QE 36 or 18 panel, launch the Panel Config menu. The first menu that comes up is the Configuration menu. Scroll down to the bottom. We won't go over every setting, but there are a few settings to pay attention to. The first is to make sure virtual routing is enabled and that the comms retry delay factor is set to the default of 100. At the top of the screen is an interactive view of the control panel. Clicking on each button allows for setting the function of the button. The 8 buttons on the left-hand side are perpetual buttons that don't change based on the menu. The rest of the buttons are tied to menu assignments. You can change the menu you are viewing by using the menu drop-down under the panel. The Copy From button allows you to copy one menu from another. When setting a button, there's an array of options available. Click on the button and the pop-up menu will reveal itself. In this pop-up window, you can set destinations, sources, build crosspoint switches, set functions such as take and protect, add levels, breakaway assignments, recall panel macros, set menu links, menu navigation, menu display, recall salvos, and clear keys. For example, if I want the panel to do a crosspoint switch, click on crosspoints, set the output, the input, and the breakaway. Breakaways establish which levels will be routed and are set in the breakaway menu below in the Configurations tab. Let's start by setting the panel as a simple source destination panel. Click on the button you want to change, set it to source, set the value, then click on the next button, and repeat. To speed up configuration, there are 2 checkboxes on the bottom of the pop-up window. The first is the Maintain Selection button. So as you go to the next button, the pop-up window navigation doesn't change to what the button is currently set to. Auto Advance automatically jumps to the next button after a selection has been made. Once you get to the last button and make a selection, it automatically jumps to the next menu to continue setting buttons. Below the interactive panel, there are a few tabs. Menu Details allows you to name menus, set fallback behaviors, and default colors. Menu Options allows you to change the default colors across the entire panel. Macro Names allows for naming macro events. Macro Events allows for panel-based macros for routing multiple destinations at once without the need for building a salvo. The last 3 tabs just show levels, destination, and sources coming in from the Ultrix frame. For macro events, all IDs should be gathered from destination and source label access tabs. Back in the Configuration tab, scroll down below the Breakaway section. There's a drop-down menu for label alias sets, so you can set which alias set the operator will see. There's also a Category Mode drop-down menu that allows you to determine if you want to use category indexing or group categories for routing. In the perpetual buttons on the left of the panel, one of the buttons is Category Mode. When the category button is pressed, the mnemonic buttons change from their program menus to groups or category mode navigation. Pressing the button again takes you out of category mode and back to the program menus. Removing this button removes category mode from the panel. Once you have finished programming the RCP-QE panels, click on the Send Configuration on the bottom of the screen. You can save a backup of the setup by right-clicking on the panel config and performing a Save As. Once you have saved it, in the File Navigator, add the location where the file is if it isn't there already. Then, in the Navigator, double-click on the file so it goes from faded to full color. Then drag the file onto the panel and it will paste the setup from the file to the panel. The Smart Paste pop-up window will appear. Click OK to close the window. Then in the panel configuration menu, click on Send Configuration. This can be a great way to copy panel configurations across like panels. You can also use Smart Paste, which will show up when you click on the Send Configuration button. Only panels with the same model number will appear under selected devices.